Good evening, everybody. Let's make sure I'm turned up. How are we this evening? Are we all right? It is Wednesday evening. It's 22nd of September, if I remember rightly. Sorry, that's really hitting my head. It is 22nd of September. It is 7:30, and it's Annie Bennett here. Streaming to you in the Home Baking Business Community UK and also on my Annie Bennett Facebook page and also in the Home Baking Professionals Society. Hello, do say hello. As I say this every week, I'm coming to you via this thing called StreamYard, which means that if you say hello, you need to give it permission to use your name. If you don't, I can't see your name from here. I can when I come out of it, but I can't hear. Hello, everybody. Hello. So I can't see who you are, or you can put your name in the comments. Then I know who you are. Oh, but it's good to have you here. I think this evening is going to be one that lots of people are going to want to watch, at least live or on replay. Hello, Hayley. Yes, I can see you, lovely. Well done. It doesn't take long, does it? You just have to click a few things. Yes, oh, we're up to 10 people. Hello, lots of comments. Hello, Bex. Hello, Kim. Oh, and an emoji from Kim. I do love an emoji. Yes. And also, if you, hello, Lucy. If you do the hearts and likes and things, then it means that Facebook goes, oh, that's popular, and it notifies lots of other people that I'm happening. So do feel free to thumbs up and heart and all that. Oh, thank you. How lovely. Thank you very much. Yes, we are here this evening talking about something that I know is confusing a lot of you. It's a very confusing subject. We're talking about labelling this evening because there's the new law coming in a week on Friday, October the 1st. And I know lots of people are very confused as to how it works, whether it applies to you, whether it doesn't, so on and so forth. And I've also seen, been aware of the fact that perhaps in other groups, not so much in mine because I keep an eye on our group and I make sure that all the information is spot on. But occasionally there's sort of the whole Chinese whispers thing where one person says something and passes it on and the next person misunderstands it ever so slightly and then passes it on and then misunderstands it and passes it on. And by the time it gets to sort of the 10th, 11th person, it's not quite right at all. So I'm hoping to dispel anything you may have heard that might not be quite right this evening, because I'm going to show you the source. I'm going to share with you the actual source of where I get my information from. So there's no question that what I'm saying to you isn't accurate. I often say this, that, if I'm trying to find out something, I might ask advice from people, but then I'll want to know where that advice has come from. I want to go straight to the source, from the horse's mouth, so to speak, so that I know that my information is correct. And that's what I'm going to do for you this evening. You see, I've done all the reading of the boring paperwork so that you don't have to. You can if you want to. I'll show you where it is. But once you see it, you'll think, oh, I'm glad Annie's read it. Anyway. All right. Oh, we've got quite a few people on. I have to take my glasses off because it reflects and I'm aware that it's really annoying. But if I keep them off, then I can't read anything. Some swings and roundabouts. Oh, and hang on, let me just indulge me with my gadgets and my widgets, because if you are watching this afterwards, do let me know. It does help the group algorithm if you do talk to me, if you've watched it on replay. And if you're watching this on replay and you've got any questions, tag me in, pop it in, and I should be notified, and hopefully I'll be able to answer it for you. Okay. Any questions that you might have? All right, let's go back to the comments. I've crashed. Oh no. Can other people see me? Do let me know if you can't see me or if you can see me. There's not a lot I can do either way this end, I think. But you can see me. Oh, good. Oh, good. I could see you. That's good. I hope, Lucy, I hope I come back to you soon. Oh, fab. Thank you, folks. That's very, very nice of you that you're letting me know. Right. Okay. Labeling. Let's get on with it then. If you have any questions, I will try and answer them as we go along, but I'm going to share my screen, which means that there are certain times I might not be able to see the comments. So do bear with me, but I will come out of sharing so that I can read your comments. So I'll try to scroll through and get all the questions if there are any. Hopefully what I'm about to show you and share with you is going to be so clear that you're not going to have any questions. You're going to go, that's all right then, Annie. I know exactly what I'm doing now. But of course there won't be. There'll be questions. Right. Let's crack on then, because there's a few bits to get. On with. Hang on, just let me turn my phone off. It's making noises at me. There we are. All right. So. Right, I'm back. Oh no. Am I back? Can you see me again? That's the first time it's ever done that on me. I'm hoping that you can see me again. This is very annoying, isn't it? Just give us a quick shout, because there's a bit of a delay from me saying it. You can see me. Good. So there's about a 10-second delay from me saying it and you hearing it. So good. Sorry about that, folks. I'm not quite sure what happened there. So it's not done that before, has it? Oh, and now my setup's all disappeared. Never mind. I will find it again. So let me share. What I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, gave you a chance to click the link. Hello, Elsa. Excellent. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the labeling tool. I'm going to talk you through the labeling tool that I've put in. I put in the files section in the home baking business community. And I'll talk you through that again, because that has the sort of where you need to go and what you need to do, and it spells it out. So that's what I'm going to share with you. Let me just find it. There we go. There we are. So you should be able to see that, I'm hoping. Please can you just let me know that you can see that? I'm hoping that you can. It's on my little screen here. So yeah, fab. Okay. All right. So this is actually in the, it's very small on your phone. I'll talk you through, but then when you go into the group, Samantha, you can actually find it and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Okay. But I'll obviously talk through it for you. So this chart here is basically talking you through, it's asking you how you sell your products, and based on how you sell them depends on how you label it. Okay, this is where it gets quite confusing, because one person selling it in one way is going to have different regulations to someone selling it in another way. Okay, because there's different sort of categories, if you like, of selling. You've got pre-packed for direct sale, and then you've got sort of loose good, non-pre-packed, as they're called. And the different ways that we sell can be any of those or a combination of those. So what we've got, first of all, the first question is, are you selling directly to your customer? In other words, are you selling to the person who wants your brownie or your cake and is going to eat it, basically? Or are you selling to another business who's then going to sell it onto their customers? Okay, so that's the first thing you need to ask. So are you selling directly to your customer? If it's yes, so it's either yes or no. I think what I'll do is I'll go down the no tree first, because that's more likely to be less of you, and I'll just get that out of the way. So if you are not selling directly to your customer, if you are selling to a business, I know some of you supply to cafes and restaurants, farm shops, that kind of thing. So if that's you, the next question you need to ask yourself is, are your products pre-packed? So do you package them up before you hand them over to the cafe or restaurant or farm shop, whatever it is, the people that are selling it for you? If your product is pre-packed, then you've got the hardest job, I'm afraid, because you have got to do the full Monty when it comes to labeling. You've got to do the full lot, okay? And I'll talk about that in a minute. I'll come out of here and I'll go into a web page that talks through that. Okay, so you've got to do the whole lot. So the name of food, list of ingredients, allergen information, but that's everybody anyway. This quid thing, which I'll talk about in a second, net quantity, storage, and your business address. That full list is only if you are pre-packing your goods and selling them to another business. Okay. If your goods aren't pre-packed, so for example, you give a cafe a cake that they then cut up, right? That's not pre-packed then. But what you do have to do is allergens, but allergens is everybody anyway. And you have to supply that cafe with a list of your ingredients. Okay, so it would be a list of ingredients with the allergens in bold, like you see on all the other packaging. Okay, because the idea is then that if one of their customers says, oh, what's this got in it, they can then look at your list and say, oh yes, it's got this, this, and this. Okay. On the PDF that you can download from the guide section, it's also on my blog as well. If you want to access it through there, you can. I'll show you how to get to that a bit later on. There's all sorts of clicks and bits and pieces that tell you about that as well. Slightly different if you're just doing chocolate though. Chocolate are different rules. You have to do the full thing for chocolate, however you sell it. Okay, because it's slightly different rules. If you're doing like Geo hearts, but they're filled with cake or filled with biscuit and they've just got a chocolate coating, that counts as a cake. If it's chocolate and just chocolate, then it counts as a chocolate and sweet, which is the chocolate rules. That can be a bit confusing for some, because I know some of you do make chocolate goods. So chocolate is full labeling, however you sell it. Okay, okie dokie. All right, hang on, have we got some questions? Hang on, I'll come to the pre-packing bit in a minute. Samantha, I'll come to that in a second, my lovely. Hayley, hang on, let me pop this up. Show. I supply edible prints to order to other bakers who then use them on their cakes. I post and I do collections. Is that non-prepacked? So you are selling Hang on. So you are selling directly. You're selling to other businesses then in that case, aren't you? But it's not pre-packed, is it? Yeah, so it's not non-pre-packed. So you just need to say what's in those, Hayley, as far as I can see. Okay. All right, what has Kim asked? If I supply to a business, do I still need to add the ingredients allergen label if they give me the ingredients? If they give you the ingredients, so that would be, they are giving you all the ingredients to just make the things. So in other words, you are freelancing for them. You are just doing the making for them. So then it's up to them to do all the labeling. If you're not supplying all the ingredients, it would be up to the business who supplies you with the ingredients to sort all the labeling out. If they're giving you all the ingredients, you're just working sort of as a freelance employee to them, aren't you? You're just making it up and giving it back to them. Yeah. So it would be up to them in that case, I would say. If you are doing that, you need to, I would just double check, and you've got things on, if you've got a contract for sale, that kind of thing, contract between you and that business, make it clear on there. Okay. I have a corporate order of 700 individually wrapped brownies for them to give out to their staff as gifts. No, I would say that the business is your customer. The business is the one that is wanting the brownies. So you are supplying directly to the customer. The fact that your customer is a business is neither here nor there, because they are not then selling them on to somebody else. It would be the same if you sold, if you supplied a customer with 10 brownies and they gave them out to someone at a party. Okay, so in that case, Bex, I would say that the business is your customer and you are selling direct to them. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, do ask again, because I'm happy to go over things again if necessary. All right, so that's okay. So that's if you're selling to a business. Okay, so let's come the other side now. Are you selling directly to your customer? Which most of us are most of the time. So that's a yes. Now, this is the bit where it can go either way. Are you selling online? So do you take your orders through Facebook, through WhatsApp, through Instagram, through phone, through text, through your website? All of those are online. So that counts as distance selling. Okay. If you are distance selling, as it says here in the little green thing there, you just need allergen information. Okay. You do need it twice. You need it at point of sale or before sale. So a customer needs to be able to see what allergens the thing contains before they buy it. And then you need to also, at moment of delivery, that's the phrase they use, at moment of delivery, they also need to see what allergens are in your produce as well. Okay. If you are not selling online, so for example, you are selling to your customers directly at a fair or a farmer's market or a stall or outside your house. That was whoever asked that earlier, sorry. Who was it asked that earlier? Samantha. If you are outside your house, you are selling directly to your customer. Although actually in that case, you're not selling online, are you? Hang on, I'll come back to you, my lovely. I'll come back to you. No, sorry, I'm getting myself muddled now. So you're not selling online, Samantha. You're selling directly to your customer standing outside your house. If your products are pre-packed, so if you've spent all night packing them up so that the customer can just, or you can just pick them up and give them straight to the customer, then that is called pre-packed for direct sale. Direct sale meaning that you are selling it directly to the person who's buying it, the customer, yeah. And that's PPDS. That's the one where the rules are all changing next week. So that's the one where you've now got to put an ingredient list on, a full ingredients as well as allergens. So your ingredients list will then have the allergens in bold. Okay. Does that answer your question, Samantha? I hope it does. Oh, hang on, there's some comments. I'm scrolling up and down here. I put them outside in a stand for people to buy. Yeah, that's still pre-packed for direct sale. You're not selling them to a business to then sell on to somebody else. You're selling them that the customer will buy them directly. So it still counts as direct sale. Yeah, even though you're not stood there physically handing it over, they are buying it directly from you. Okay. And say that's the bit that's changed. But contrary to popular belief, or to some things that I've seen in some groups, that does not mean you have to do the full net weight, percentages, the quid, the best befores, all that kind of. It's good practice to put a best before or a use by. No, not a use by. A use by is for volatile things, and a best before is a quality thing. So it's good practice to do that, but you're not legally obliged to. All right. Now, let's just go back up the tree a little bit, because if you're not selling online, so you're at your farmer's market or your stall or your sale or whatever it is, but your products aren't pre-packed. So you've got your cupcakes in a little like cabinet, and you pick them out when the customer asks for them. That's non-pre-packed. Okay, that's not pre-packed. So all you need to do for that is make the customer aware of the allergens. Okay, you can either do that on the label. When I used to do markets a while ago, I used to have like chocolate brownies contains milk, eggs, cereal containing gluten. So that's what I used to do. You can put a sign up saying, please ask me about allergens. That will cover you. You don't have to have full ingredients list, but good practice, I would have them, because in my experience, you are often asked, has this got something in it? Or I think palm oil, when the thing about palm oil became high profile, people were asking me whether things had palm oil in them. And if I hadn't had my ingredients list, I wouldn't have been able to tell them. And you do look a little bit of a numpty if someone asks you whether your goods have got something in and you go, oh, I don't know. It doesn't look good, does it? So it is worth, if you are doing that, to have your ingredients lists. Okay. Right. Now, the guidance that I've got all this from, oh, hang on a minute. We got some. Right, what's Megan asked? I sell to a local shop in trays, they then sell on. So have you packaged the tray up? Are they just picking up what you've sold and giving it directly to the customer? Has it got a package, or are they cutting bits out of it, or are they putting it in a bag for that customer? Megan, tell me that, because it makes a difference. If your trays are fully sealed and packaged, then it needs the full Monty on it. If your trays are just given to the cafe and they put it in a bag for the customer to take away, then all you need to do is provide the ingredients and allergens. Okay. And they cut it up and put it in. Yeah. So that's non-pre-packed then, Megan. Yeah. Yeah, that's non-pre-packed. You just have to give full ingredients and allergens. Okay. Right on. Well, oh, Megan again. Where's best to get stickers from to list ingredients is open so you can get that doesn't cost a fortune? You can get, and this is what I used when I did a bit of ingredient labeling, you can get A4 sheets of labels of a certain size. And each of those A4 sheets, they're generally standard. They've got standard codes, and you can get templates. So what I would do is, in a Word document, I would put my labels, my labeling on that template, and then just put a label sheet in my printer and print it off that way. Okay, so it's still A4, and it prints onto a label that you can then stick onto your goods. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Right. Oh, Facebook again. My EHO told me to do ingredients list, allergen, and nutrition facts if I'm taking orders through my what? I'm afraid, I hate to say it, but they're wrong, because that's distance selling. And I'll show you in a minute where that is. So you could perhaps go back to your EHO and say, look at this. It's distance selling. If you are taking orders through tech, in other words, WhatsApp, phone, Messenger, whatever, that is considered distance selling, and it is not pre-packed for direct sale. I will show you where I've got that information from. Okay. I make cakes as per customer requirement and pack cakes in boxes. Yes, so you are up here. So you're distance selling, because I presume that they give you an order over the phone, by text. They don't come to your door and say, can I have this cake, please? Do they? You make it up to order. And so it's allergens. Allergens before they buy, allergens when you hand it over. Okay, so let me share with you the document that I've got this information from, which is this little thing here. I'll show it to you slightly larger. Hang on. Hello. I now need to share. Hang on, bear with me, and I will share my other. Oh, come here. Hang on. We love tech, don't we? Hang on. This one. Bear with me. It should do it in a second. Here we are. So, just let me get myself sorted out, because I've got so many windows open on my computer. I can't tell if I'm coming or going here. Hang on. Just bear with me just for a second. Right. So, hopefully, oh no, it's not that one, it's this one. Come back to that in a second. It's this one. So my computer's being really slow because I've got so many windows open. Now, come on. There we go. Right. This document here, I'm hoping you can see that. Hang on, let's just, yes, you can. This document here, and I will share the link with you so you can find this yourself. This is the document that the Food Standards Agency, so these are the people, this is the government Food Standards Agency. They don't make the laws, but they create them, and then the government, that's how it all works. But what they have on their website is the rules, if you like. So, hang on, just bear with me just for a second. I'm going to take you to paragraph, because on my labeling chart, where it says paragraph 71, paragraph 98, that's in this document. And hang on, 48, 49, oh, go away. Hang on. You see, there's quite a lot of it. I did go through this quite carefully. It's a good cue for insomnia, this. Right. Okay. So I'm going to draw your attention to paragraph 71. Okay. Which is non-pre-packed food. So this is where you're perhaps at your farmer's market or your stall, and you've got all your bits and pieces loose that you're going to then bag up. The requirement is to provide information about the use of allergenic ingredients. So you've got to do allergens. However you sell it, allergens is the bottom line. You've got to talk about allergens, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But the provision does not require a food business to provide a full ingredients list. Okay, so that's non-pre-packed food. Okay. I'm now going to take you to paragraph 98 and 99. where it talks to us about distance selling. Now, I know this document fairly well now because I've been through it so many times. Here we go. Oh, right, here we go. So paragraph 98, FBOs, so food business operators, selling PPDS food, pre-packed for direct sale food through distance means, will need to ensure that mandatory allergen information is available to the customer. And they put in a thing there for free. So you can't say, phone this premium hotline for allergen information. You can't do that. Yeah. Before they buy the product, and is also available at the moment of delivery. Okay. Number 99, this is the big one for most of us. The requirement for a list of ingredients does not apply to PPDS food sold online, via telephone, or provided to the consumer by mail order only. This is because the national rules applicable to the provision of food information for non-prepacked food, including PPDS, do not apply to food sold via distance means. Okay. So if you are distance selling, you do not have to have a list of ingredients. You can do, of course you can do, if it, you know, if you feel more confident selling in that way, but you do not have to. So I'm afraid that EHO, I'm afraid, was mistaken. I hate to be arrogant, but it's written just there, paragraph 99, you don't have to. Okay. Now, I've got a link to this document. I'm going to put something in the files in the Home Baking Business Community UK, which will have the links to everything I'm showing you. Okay. So if you do want to talk to your EHO about it, you can point them in the direction of this and say, well, what does this mean then if you're telling me something different? Okay. Bearing in mind, though, that EHOs have so many different things to do. They have so many different areas that they have to police and monitor and all that kind of stuff. I don't blame them if perhaps they don't know this in as much detail as some of us do, because I have lots of time to look at this and they don't. So, so there we go. If you want to go on to the packaging and labelling, so if you're having to do the full thing and do the full labelling, this page on the Food Standards Agency, the packaging and labelling, talks you all through it. By the way, this little bit here about EU, please don't assume that if something says EU law, it doesn't apply to us anymore. Most of the food, the vast majority of the food EU law is still in place. It has, it is still in place in England, and in England, and in various bits of, you know, Northern Ireland, Wales as well. Okay, it's slightly different, perhaps slightly different ways of doing it, but it's basically all the same as it was. They haven't changed it due to Brexit. Okay, a lot of it was sort of came from Britain in the first place, if you like, and went out to the EU, and so it's adopted. So don't think that because it's EU, it doesn't apply, because it does. I just thought I'd say that. So this page is, say, if you've got to do the full thing, this is all the labelling, the list of ingredients, the allergen, the QID, the quantitative declaration of ingredients. It talks about that. If you do have to do that, so if you're selling, if you're pre-packing and selling to a business and you need to do this, then the labelling course that the Food Standards Agency has is very good, and it's free. You don't have to, I don't think you even have to register. You can go straight into it, and it tells you everything in minute detail. All right. So that is labelling. All right. Now, when I had to do or when I did full labels for when I did farmers markets, what I would do, in fact, let me tell you what, I'll come to that in a second. I will just come out of this. I will remove that and I will see if there's any, hang on. La, 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 la. Oh yes, Megan, this is being recorded, and it will be in the guide section of the group. Okay, so you can watch this back. Okay. Oh, sit her in front of one of my talks. That'll soon get her going. Samantha, so some people order through Facebook, and then anything left over, I put out for passers-by. So I'm kind of in between pre-pack for direct sale and also distance sale. If I just provide ingredients and allergens, I'm covered if I have a menu in my yeah. Just a quick word about allergen labelling. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my tea, if that's all right. Allergen labelling, you have to, and I can't stress this enough, you have to put the allergens that your product contains twice, once before they're sold. So that's on your website, on your Facebook page, on your wherever it is you sell them, and then once at moment of delivery. You cannot, and I cannot stress this enough, you cannot put "we don't cater for allergies." That is not an allergen guidance, I'm afraid. Really sorry, but it's not. You have to say what allergens are contained in your bakes. It's a legal requirement to do it twice. Okay. Just thought I'd make that very clear, because I have seen in various other places that people haven't been doing that. If you decide that you don't want to cater for allergies, that's obviously your decision. But you say you cannot, then, oh, well, I don't need to label it then. Cannot do that. I hate for you to get into trouble because you haven't done, what you need to do. And all you need to do, it's fairly, the basic allergen labeling, you have to check for your allergens. You just look at all your ingredients, everything in bold, wallop, put it on. Okay, that's all you need to do. But EHO is asking again and again, even though she sent me my 5 rating as through email. But what do you mean? What's she asking you? Even though she sent me my 5 rating as 5 through email. What is she asking you, my lovely? Tell me what she's asking you, and I will point in the right direction. Can you? Yes, I will put. I've got a little. I'll show it to you in a minute. A little page with all the links on that I will put in the group for you. And to clarify, in market stall, if I have goods that are loose, you don't have to do ingredients list. But if you've packaged them before you go there, yes, you do. Yes. She's asking nutrition facts, ingredients list. Right, ingredient lists and allergens shouldn't need to do nutrition facts. That's for if you are pre-packing. Okay. You are selling directly to your customers, so you shouldn't need nutrition facts. That is for pre-packed only. So show them that guidance. Get that guidance that I've just shown you. I'll give you the link and you can show them that. Okay. Is this a message to a customer on WhatsApp? Say, for example, they want a vanilla cake. Normally I ask if there are any allergies. Then I include a sticker with my cake box. Do we now have to list the allergens in the message? You always have had to, I'm afraid. It's one of these Chinese whisper things that people have assumed you just have to ask them. You must say what your allergens are. It's your responsibility to tell your customers what your goods contain. You mustn't rely on asking them or them telling you. You've got to tell them. Okay. You don't even need to ask if you're selling to someone with allergies. Okay. I have seen people who ask their customers to sign disclaimers, which is fine if that makes you comfortable. But if you think about it, you go into Tesco's or you go into a shop, they don't say, oh, can you just sign that you've seen the allergen sticker on that? It just doesn't happen. If you label everything properly, make it really clear what allergens your products contain, then you are safe to then pass it on to the customer. Okay. If a customer, I'm sure some of you, there's lots of people in the group that need gluten-free and need dairy-free and are allergic to various bits and pieces. If you are allergic to one of those things, you are very careful with labeling. If something makes you ill, you're going to be really sure that you're not going to eat anything that contains it. So you're going to be very careful. Okay. So if your customer sees that your label says that your brownies, for example, contain milk, eggs, cereals containing gluten, soya, then they know that if anyone, that they might give it to has any of those allergies, then they know exactly what it contains, and they can tell, whoever might eat it, what's in it. Okay. If you're clear on your labeling, you can't, well, you can't be responsible for anything. I get I get a little hot under the collar with this one, because it's not up to us to monitor or to tell people, no, I'm not going to bake you something because I think you'll give it to someone that's going to be ill with it. If you label something properly, then it's their responsibility to make sure that if anyone's got an allergy, then they don't have it. I haven't made that very clear, but if you label it, label, make it really clear, let them know before they buy it what's in it, let them know after they bought it what's in it, let them know when you hand it over what's in it. Yes, of course you'd feel awful if someone fell ill. But as I said, it's the same in shops. Shops don't ask you to sign disclaimers because you've seen the allergen label on something. This is what the laws are for. The laws are there to make sure that we label everything properly. Okie dokie. If you list what allergens are in the product, you legally, this is an interesting one. There is a paragraph in the guidance. No, you don't legally have to. In fact, they say at one point in the guidance that if you rely on that, you also might rely on not sorting out your cross-contamination well enough, although that is aimed more at restaurants rather than domestic kitchens. So no, you don't have a legal obligation to, but as a domestic kitchen that does all sorts of other bits and pieces, you need to let your customer know that actually this is a domestic kitchen. We use nuts, we use dairy, we use whatever it is you want to, have a disclaimer about. Okay. But it's no, as far as I can see from the guidance and I can see from everything I've read, it's not a legal obligation to do that. If I'm taking on a cake order, do I discuss the order, and once finalised, do I just say the items you have ordered contain the later? Right. What I do, let me tell you what I do, and hopefully it'll answer your question. Let me share another, hang on. Let me share something else. Some of you may have seen this because I have shared it a couple of times. Bear with me just for a second. Oh, hang on, it's disappeared. Hang on, bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves while I sort out my screen. I've got so many windows open, I can't see what I'm doing here. Here we go, right. So with bespoke orders, hopefully you can see that. Let me make it bigger. This is what I give out to customers when they ask for a cake. Because as some of you know, I'm mainly wedding cakes. I do the odd birthday cake, but I'm mainly wedding cakes. So I don't have on my website, my cakes contain this, that, and the other, because it really depends on what the customer wants. But before they have bought, before they have parted with any money, I will put on here what they've asked for. So I say, can I have a 3-tier cake, vanilla with this, that, and the other? I'll put it on here. And then on here, can you see I've put allergen advice. The cakes may contain some or all of the following: wheat, gluten, dairy, eggs, and I might put soya. If it's a fruit cake, I'll put sulfur dioxide because it's got that in it. So they can see before they part with any money what allergens are in there. Okay. So that's what I do. And then when I hand the cake over, I will do an information sheet that'll have, welcome to your cake. This is how you look after it. You know, wrap it in cling film or whatever it is you do. And it'll have really clearly what the allergens are. I put a little grid on there. I tick the boxes. I put made in a kitchen that uses nuts. And I also put, I'll talk about food colorings in a second as well, because there's food colorings to deal with as well. Okay, so that's what I do. So if you're doing bespoke cakes, you've just got to let them know before they part with any money what's in it. I hope that answers your question. Yes. If I'm making Mars bar brownies, for example, do I list every ingredient such as flour or ingredients in that? Yeah. Yeah. So I'll talk about a way of getting your ingredients labeled that doesn't take hours and hours and hours in a second. Okay. If I'm using digestive biscuit, do I need to let the customer know? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Whatever you use. So look at the labels of your ingredients that you use. So look at the label of your digestive biscuits and it will have on there all the ingredients and the allergens. It'll have the allergens in bold. Okay. So what I do, hang on, I'm going to share another screen here. I'm pretty sharey this evening, aren't I? Oh, hang on, let's get rid of it. Hang on, let's just get rid of that one. There, all right, bear with me. Because what I do, when I did my ingredient labels, oh, hang on, it's disappeared. Oh, bear with me. I use the internet and I cut and paste. So this is an example. Once I've found it, here we go. Da, 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 da. Can you see that? Just checking. Yeah, here we go. So this is my Excel spreadsheet. I'm a bit of an Excel spreadsheet geek. I love Excel spreadsheets. You can do it in Word, you can do it in whatever. But the point is you're doing it so you can cut and paste. You don't have to type everything out. Okay. So this is sort of just a snapshot of what I do. So can you see down here on the left, I've got all the ingredients I might use. And then what I did was from the different places I might get those ingredients, I went onto those shops' websites and I cut and paste the ingredients from their website and I put them on this chart. Okay. Different places, different makes, there's Dr. Erika Whitworth's, various different places. So wherever you buy from, have a column for whichever source it is, because even if it's the same ingredient, different manufacturers are likely to put different things in them. So you've got to check each one. Then what I would do over here is I would have my list of things that I was making. So caramel shortbread brownies, for example. And then what I would do is I would just cut and paste across what the allergens are in each thing. Okay. You see, for that one's fairly straightforward because sugar is sugar. Golden syrup is golden syrup, which is sugar. But this one, brownies, you see, I'm using this. So I'd cut and paste those over. And then what I would do, you might think this is long-winded, but it worked for me. Down the bottom, I would then put everything in that column into one place, and there would be my ingredient label. And then what I would do is I would copy that. Remember I talked earlier about the A4 sheet with the label sized things on? I would then copy that onto that sheet, and there it is. There's my label done. Okay, bit of a faff, but once you've done it, then it's there. You just save it. If you change your ingredients, if you change your supplier, check your ingredients. You might need to change the labels if you're doing labels. Okay, because part of your food allergen risk assessment is that you check if you change supplier or change where you've bought things from, that you check that the allergens are the same. Okay, I hope that makes a little bit of a sense. What happens if you don't know? You should do. Everything that is sold in the shops that is edible is legally required to have ingredients lists. If it doesn't, I would, to be honest, I'd steer clear of it. I wouldn't use something that I didn't know what was in, what it had in it. Everything that is sold that is edible will have ingredients and allergens on. Okay. Yeah, sprinkles. There are some sprinkles and some added, extra bits that when you look at the labels may contain all sorts of things. So you really do have to look. Don't assume anything. Really do check. This is a good question, Megan. Megan, you're on fire this evening with your questions, my lovely. Do you need a certain font size? Font and size. There is a minimum. And the minimum, would you believe, is 1.2 millimeters. So it's about that big. And in fact, there's certain, it's all in that guidance, but there's certain points where it's 0.9 of a millimeter, which is even tinier. I wouldn't have any chance of reading anything like that. So there is a certain font size, but it's so small that the chances are you're going to be okay with what you do. But check through that guidance because it does tell you on there. No, don't worry. That's what I'm here for, my lovely. That's what I'm here for. To help you out and to make sure you know what you're doing. That's my life's mission, to make sure you know what you're doing. Now, I was going to show you very quickly about the E numbers. Oh, hang on. Not that one. Stop screen share. Let me share you. The food colouring and E numbers. Because if you don't know about that, then you need to know about that, because again, this is another legal requirement. Oh, hang on, bear with me. No, not that one. Hang on, let's find the right window. Here we go. Here we are. Food colours and hyperactivity. I know that a lot of you know all this already, but in case you don't, you need to. This is from the Food Standards Agency site. And again, the link is on the document that I'm going to put up for you. These numbers are sometimes referred to as the Southampton 6, because it was Southampton University that did all the research. Because it says here, we funded research, and that's where it happened, Southampton. And these 6 numbers here, if you are using any ingredient that contains any of those numbers, you have to put this sentence on your packaging. May have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Okay, any of those numbers. They're generally yellows and reds, although I was looking at a blue the other day that had one of them in as well. It was 104, it had it in. So that's something on top of all the allergens that you have to label if you are using. So just double check that, okay, because I'd hate you to get into trouble by not doing that. Okay. Let me just look at my notes. I think I've covered everything I was going to do. Are there any more questions? Are there any questions I haven't answered? Or anything I haven't answered? I think I've answered everything. If I haven't, just pop it in again so that I can see it. I'll give it a second because, say, there's a delay. It is a bit of a minefield, but if you follow my labelling chart, yes, I'll share the link, my darling. Yes, I will. I'll put it all up. In fact, I'll do it when we come off in a minute. I'll put it all up. In fact, let me show you. Did I? Hang on. Yeah, hang on. I'll show you what it looks like so you know what to look for. I'm sharing like a good one this evening, aren't I? Hang on. So it is this. So this here is what I'm going to put into the files in the group. That first one, so if you just click on it, download it and click on it and it'll come up with it. That's that big document with all the paragraphs, Good Cure for Insomnia, but it's got all the information in there. So if anyone asks you or questions it, that's where you go, okay? Labeling information, that's what I just showed you, the website, okay? The training link, if you need to do the training, that's there. And there is the page for food colours and hyperactivity, okay? My labeling chart is already in the files, okay? But I'll perhaps put it up with, when I put this into the guides, I'll perhaps put it up there as well. I'll put this up there as well. You'll find it. I'll put it all over the place so you can find it. And if you can't, just ask. I'll make it fairly obvious where it all is for you, okay? Megan's just asked, do you think all of us who've been inspected will get another visit with the new laws? I doubt it. I doubt it. I think EHOs are quite busy already, my lovely. So don't worry about that. But if you're doing everything you should be doing, you'll be fine. The only time you may, or a food business may be liable to get an extra visit is if you are not labelling things properly and someone shops you, if you like. But if you follow everything I've just told you, then you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Okay. So hopefully that has allayed some fears and straightened out any confusions for you. If you need to ask any questions, do pop it in the group. Tag me in though, because I don't, as I say, I don't always see everything in the group. Even though it's my group and I'm admin, I don't always see everything. But if you want me to answer anything or you're not sure, just pop a question in, tag me in. Please don't direct message me. I don't answer them mostly because I get so many, I just haven't got time to do that. Put it in the group, then I'm happy to answer because then everybody will see it. Okay. Pop it in there. Is that a real one? No, it's not. It's a dummy. In fact, it's a very heavy dummy because it's loose. The top two tiers are loose. And the other day, I pushed my chair back to stand up and knocked it and it banged me on the head. It's really, really, really heavy and solid. Oh, thank you. Thank you. There's some of my sugar blooms. Getting a plug in there. The sugar bloom box is coming. But there we are. But yes, it's nicer to look at than just a cupboard door, isn't it? Hang on, what have we asked here? If I put ingredients, allergen and nutrition facts on cake books, can I keep it for selling in the shops? Yes. Yes, I think so. That's what you... Don't worry about asking lots of questions. Don't apologise for asking questions. That's what this evening is for, my lovely. And that's what the group is for. The group is there to support you in your home baking business. And if I can be of any help, of course I will be. And there are lots of other people that are very helpful as well. But just as I said right at the beginning, just beware of taking advice unless you know the source of that advice. Because, say, things get lost in translation as they're passed on and passed on. It's like the whole thing about having a cream license. I've seen in other groups, yes, you need a cream license to sell things with cream. Absolute nonsense. There's no such thing as a cream license. I don't know where that came from, but it's obviously been passed on and it's been sort of it's been regarded as the truth. It's nonsense. But I won't go into that now. I could be for hours about that. I couldn't. Oh, bless you, Kim. They are. We have got such a lovely, helpful group in here, haven't we? Everyone is so lovely. You know, if you've got a question about anything, I do scroll through occasionally and see if there's any comments or posts that haven't been answered. There aren't many. I don't see many. I know occasionally someone says, I'll put this up again because no one saw the other one. So apologies if no one answers you. It's just that perhaps you posted at a time when Facebook isn't showing it to anybody. It's just the way that Facebook is sometimes. But do post again. Be a little bit persistent and someone will answer you and you'll get lots of answers if you've got an issue. Okay. Oh, here's another question. Right. If I make cake pops as favours, I sell them to the customer who gives them out. I do pop them in a cello bag, but that's still distance selling, isn't it? So you're selling them to the customer. No, it's just allergens. Yeah, just allergens for that one. Because you're online. You're distance selling, aren't you, if you've made the cake pops as favours? Someone's ordered them from you, I presume. Okay. You can always give a full ingredient list if you want to, but it's the allergens that's really vital with that one. Okie dokie, my lovely. How to convince my yes, look out for that document, this document here, my lovely. That first link there is that document that I showed you, is this one here. Oh look, there was the font size. This document here, okay, paragraph 99. There's no question. There's no ifs and buts or whatever. That's the guidance. Okay, my lovely. So if you're in a bit of a quandary, that's the one you need to show them. In fact, there was someone in this group a while back who was visited by the EHO. I can't remember who it was now, but it was quite a few months ago, who said, the EHO said, oh, you must do full ingredients. And because the person had looked at my doodah and looked at the guidance, they actually said to the EHO, are you sure? Because it says so, you know, because of this guidance. And the EHO went away and came back and said, actually, you're right. So it is worth, you know, it is worth persisting with it. If you're in a quandary. If you've got any more issues, just come back to the group and we'll advise you. We'll help you to, we'll help you with what to do in that case. All right. Don't worry. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. I make cakes to order. Do I list a full list? Nope. Allergens only. I sell to a shop on Fridays. Full list is required. But then I do a menu for weekends and customers choose via message. So if it's via message, that's distance selling. So it's just allergens. Yeah. There we go. My goodness me. Look, we've been over an hour. Gosh. Right, I will leave it there then, my lovelies. If you've got any more questions, pop them in the group. Tag me in because I will then hopefully see it. If you don't get an answer from me, just be persistent. I won't be at all offended if you then post again in a couple of days. Annie, please answer this, because the chances are I haven't seen it. So don't think you're offending me at all. I don't get easily offended by things. So just be a little bit persistent if you need an answer for something. All right. All right then, my darlings, there we go. And if you can't sleep tonight, just read that guidance. You'll soon drop off. So yes, so do ask if you have any questions, and I will pop this up in the guides now so you can go over it and you can reread it, and I'll put all those links up. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. You're very, very welcome. I'm glad I've been of some help to you all. That is the purpose of the group. And have a lovely week. And I will see you next week. Come and join me next week. I'm going to talk about wedding cakes and things next week. So come and join me and we'll have a chat about that. All right. So toodaloo and see you next time. All right. Bye.